Welcome to Bashy's Corner. We produce programs and interview people which normally mainstream media does not want or is not interested. We invite people from different sections of society, whether they are politicians, sports people, charity workers, social workers, all are always welcome. And to prove my point, I have invited today a wonderful friend of mine and a wonderful young man who is a project manager for NGOs, or in English, Report Hatred. Welcome to my program, Ejaz.
Thank you.
Before we talk about your very valuable project and what you do professionally, I would like to ask you about yourself, this young, lovely man who is standing in front of me. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself, please?
Well, I have to thank you, but
you're welcome.
But with all the kind words. Well, my background is that I'm an entrepreneur. I've been working with different projects during my my lifetime. I've been working with security. I've been working with web management, and latest I've been taking bachelor degrees in disaster management.
Disaster management.
In disaster management, yeah,
Okay.
and also, of course, I'm doing a lot of voluntary work as well.
So talking about disaster management or voluntary work, I know that you came actually last night from Lesbos,
Yes.
where you were together with other friends and helping refugees. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, it was a very special experience. Lesbos at the moment is taking in about 1,000 to 1,500 boat refugees.
It's a small Greek island.
It's a small Greek island. It's I think a little bit bigger than Fyn, or plus minus the same size.
Okay.
And we have a lot of refugees coming in. It's a small island. So what we were doing in Lesbos was we were helping with receiving them at the coast. And when you do that, you can feel the pain, the relief, the joy, all these mixed feelings that people have. So it was a very special experience.
Many people in Denmark say that these people are brought by smugglers, who make a lot of money, and when people have so much money to give to the smuggler, why don't they stay home? What do you think about that?
Well, I can give you an example. I met a family of 5. The father was an engineer, the mother was an engineer, the eldest daughter was an engineer, the eldest son was a doctor, and the youngest son was still in high school. And I asked these people, hey, why are you fleeing? Why you want to stay in your country? You are well educated. And they said that we're well educated, we have a lot of money, but where to spend our money if we are not in safety? So their argument for fleeing their country was that if you don't have a country because your home is bombed, your city is bombed, your friends are killed, then it doesn't matter how much money you have.
You run for your life.
You run for your life.
Yes.
So they cashed in their goods and they ran for their life.
I think this was a very noble gesture, and I appreciate very much what you are doing.
Thank you.
Coming back to your project, Reporting Hatred, did you personally experience hate speech and hate crime in Denmark?
I think that hate speech is a common word.
Okay.
Because it depends on how you define hate speech.
Sure.
I would like to say that if you have a direct hate speech, which I will say to you, and then you have some indirect hate speech. It is what we experience in the social media platform or in the media platform.
Okay.
So maybe I have experienced some directly towards me. I don't think that is so interesting because there's a lot of factors for making that a normalized pictures that you can't. But if you look at the indirect hate speech that is going on, and you look at the internet-based forums that we are working with, then the effect is the same. The power of the word is the same if you say it to my face or I meet it in my screen as a lot of others spend a lot of time on my screen.
So hate speech also results in hate crimes.
It does.
For example, many young people like yourself, when they go out in town, to a discotheques or bars, they're not allowed to come in, and also they're told that you can't come in because you are an ethnic minority person. Is it that hate speech?
I would say that hate speech is the definition of the words is the words that are coming out of my mouth, or the words that I've been reading.
Sure.
The physical discrimination, I especially remember from my teens, where you wanted to be a part of the nightlife, of the clubbing, because you have to understand that a lot of relations are built up in the nightlife community, and a lot of perceptions are built in. If everybody from my class is going to the same clubbing and I'm not allowed, it's going to build some kind of a perception about how I see myself intercoursing with my majority community. So it has a big effect on that.
And does it create resentment also? It
does. It definitely does, because all of a sudden I have to ask myself, why am I not as good as the other? So the only thing that I'm being discriminated for is my skin color.
In 2013, I made a report for ENAR on hate crime and hate speech in Denmark, and I was very astonished to find out that there is no NGO which collects data, or registers, or make complaints to the police. Why this lack of interest?
Well, unfortunately, I have to agree with your conclusion.
Okay.
That there's a huge lack of accurate data on this field. Why the lack of data? We have to ask ourselves. Is it because that the politician is not interested in the data? Is it because the police are not making the accurate notice when they receive a report?
Yeah.
Is it because there are not enough NGOs involved in this?
There's no money to do that.
There's no money to do it. Or is it because that there is not the people are not aware, the ethnic minority are not aware of their rights? Or is there too big a distance from the ethnic minority to the police that is shutting down the process?
So in your eyes, because you have been working now with this project for some time, which people or which groups do you think are victim of hate speech in Denmark now, mostly?
Well, we can see a tendency. Generally, I will say that there's hate speech going on according to all groups.
Okay.
But the majority of all the reports that we are getting in at this time, like 98%, is all hate speeches against Muslims. So evidence-based, we can say that this is a tendency right now that shows that Muslims are a widely victim for this issue right now.
Okay. Recently, I think a month back, there was a new survey from YouGov about this issue. They asked 7-8 different countries, including Denmark, and their conclusion was that 75% Danes do not like Roma people, 45% don't like Muslims, 11% don't like Jewish people, and 8% black people. So it was a huge, why this so much focus on Muslims then? Have they done something wrong?
I think the historical perspective, or why it is Muslims who is targeted, I won't go into that, because it's not when we work and we have created this portal. We have done this to ensure everybody's feeling of justice.
Sure.
And we work with data. So what I can tell you is what kind of data we have been collected and the analysis that we have been doing. Why the data is there, I would not come into that not regarding this issue.
Is it too political?
Well, it's not about political. It's about that there's a lot of I could be saying a lot of stuff that doesn't have any evidence, and I would like to keep it fact based.
Let's come back to the legal system. I know that in Denmark there are 5 laws actually which prevent or should prevent hate speech. There's law against blasphemy, there's law against defaming queen, there's a law against defaming a person. I cannot call you an idiot, you can take me to court. There's a law against demonizing religions, 266B. So when there are so many laws in Denmark, why still people are coming with so many hate speeches and nothing happens? Nobody takes them to court.
This is actually the $1 million question here.
Okay.
Because what we can see is that we are filing in a lot of reports. The process is that we open up, we have a portal, it's called anmeldhad.dk, and people can come inside and they can register a report if they have witnessed or they have been put out for hate speech.
So anybody who even see hate speech against somebody can do that?
You can do that, okay. Because our portal has two legs, if you may say.
Okay.
So the one is collecting data. And when we have enough data, some sociologists, some anthropologists can analyze our data and behalf of this say that Muslim community experiences this and this, the Jewish community is experiencing this and this, so that we can do behalf on the data we have.
Okay.
The other leg we have is we take the report and our legal team looks at it and they look at it and they say, okay, what could possibly be a violation of, example, paragraph 266 Act B, yeah, the racism paragraph. So if we see that there is a violation of this paragraph, or another paragraph in the criminal law, we will take the report and we will file it to the police.
So then the question comes, and I don't know if you want to answer that, the legal system, are the laws, are they being implemented properly?
We have the laws who are protecting the minorities.
Okay.
And we have a lot of black angles, blinde vinkler, in our system that creates automatically discrimination. So I can give you an example.
Please.
We have the laws. We are talking about that this could be a violation of a certain paragraph. We send it to the police. And my experience is that the police somehow wants to do it, take this matter seriously, but cause of lack of knowledge or lack of interest or lack of political pressure, it happens very, very slowly if it happens. Right now we can't say anything about the police's work in a thoroughly way because right now we have just sent a lot of reports to the police. We have not gotten any results. But from the short course talks I have to the police already, I can already conclude that if you are in one of the most busiest segments and you get a lot of reports, what do you do if you don't have the capacity to deal with it? You probably do like this. This is not a good one, this is not a good one. This maybe we can do. So it means that if you have 1 or 1.5 persons sitting with this huge area that is so important, then of course he will make to assess his time in a necessary way.
I know that one should not pass judgment, but when I was making this report, I contacted PET, which is Danish Secret Service, who are actually the authority which should collect all the cases from the police, both hate crime and hate speech, and make a report every year. And in spite of the fact that I contacted them, I called them, it took 2 years for them to publish report from 2012. It was published in 2014, and they actually didn't like that I was calling them so much. And now I know that it has been taken away from them and given into the national police, you know. So do you think this change will help?
It depends. Who will feed the national police with data?
But organization like yours?
We could do.
Yeah.
But we need a reach out from the police. You see, first of all, this is a police assignment.
But police knows about your project.
Then they do. Until now, I haven't heard anything from them. I hope in the future they will contact us, so we can be a voice in this. But if you look at it as from a community perspective, this is a police assignment.
Okay.
And right now, the police don't have any data. The data they have is, I won't call it lack of data. I will call it that the reports they're producing are factually so much wrong that they're giving a wrong perspective picture of what this is.
Okay, let's get back to your own project. Tell me, how does it work?
Well, it works like this: that we have a Facebook page and then we have a website.
Okay, and so people can go there.
What you can do is you can go onto a Facebook page and then you can follow our work, and then we create some discussions about hate speech in general and hate crimes of general, and we do that to create some awareness in the community.
So, you know very well, Ejaz, that elder generation, they don't go on homepage or fill a questionnaire in Danish language or in English language. So is there also any hotline where people can call?
As it is right now, our main focus is to be on the social media, because we are working with the narrative and the discourses which is created on the internet-based forums. So for now we are represented on the internet. But of course we would like to be more established, and we would like to give the option to other people who are not represented on the internet to take the phone or come into the office and register their complaints.
Okay. So how many cases you have had until now?
Right now we have gathered above 500 cases.
In which time period?
We started up officially in March 2015. So in a very short time of period. And out of the 500 cases, reports that we have gotten, I must say we have already sent about 160 to the police, which means that out of 500, our legal team has looked at a Facebook post, and they have thought that this might be a violation of the criminal law.
So that is.
So they are qualified.
That's the criteria.
That's the qualified. Yeah. And out of the 160 or above the 160, I think we are sending out a new pile in the coming weeks.
Okay.
So it might be that the total data that we are sending to the police is more close to 300 out of the 500 we have been collecting.
And you will send it to the police, or you have sent it to the police?
The first half we have sent. The next half we'll be sending soon.
What was their reaction?
Well, they invited me in for a meeting.
Okay.
And basically what they told me was that we need you to do our work better.
Their work or your work?
Their work. Because as I started with saying that they have they have limited resources for this.
The police.
The police.
And you have none.
And we have none. So from my point of view, we are just organized, but we are doing the work of a civil citizen. We are viewing something which is a violation of a potential violation of the criminal law, and then we are telling the police, hey, you have to look at this. So in my opinion, the police have to do their work, because we are non-funded. We are a group of volunteers.
Well, that's why I was wondering that if they are asking you to do that, then they should support you financially too. You are doing their job.
I hope that they'll be listening to this program and taking up your advice.
I would send them definitely.
But we have gotten a lot of positive response from the politicians, from everyone related to any kind of work in this field, because they can see that the narrative created on the social media has an effect on everyone's life.
Ejaz, you talked about politicians, that they have been very positive about your project, but I also know for a fact that many of the hate speech come from politicians and from journalists. Are you collecting that too?
We are not collecting that. Limits? We are not collecting that at the moment. But as I told you, I actually don't care where the hate speech is coming from. Is it coming from a politician? Then we have to take care of that.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, is it coming?
You're not scared that
no, we are not, because we are working with we are challenging the law that is there. There's a law. There's a paragraph 266 Act B.
Yes.
Racismeparagrafen. Yes. And whoever steps
against racism.
Against racism. Yeah. And whoever steps into that paragraph is something we have to address. And then we have to, but there's not a lot of precedence in this area as it is right now. Okay. So what we have to do is we have to help people clarify what can be said and what can't be said. So some of the reports that we are sending to police is 100% violation of paragraph 266 Act B, or any other paragraph there is.
Do you
Some of the
cooperate with also with ethnic minority NGOs and experts on these issues?
Well, we initiated the project. We extended our invitation to a widely forum of ethnic minorities and religious minorities as well.
Was it a good response?
The response was lackful.
Okay.
Why, I don't know. Maybe it was because we were not established. But what we know now is that there has come more focus on this issue. So in the future, we will soon again take contact to activists, to human rights activists, to everybody who is related to this field. So it's very important for me to say that NMIL Health as a project is not pro-Muslims, pro-Jews, pro-something. We are working according to the law and according especially to the paragraph which is the 266 Act B. But the tendency is just that right now the reports that we have is 98% against Muslims.
So it means that you use 266B law like a net, you just throw it in the sea,
yes,
and whichever fish it catches, okay.
It is important to do it like this because we have to find out, first of all, we have to get away from the thinking that this is a Muslim portal. No. Secondly, we have to do this because we have to clear up some lines about what is okay to say, or what is the accepted behavior on the internet.
Then there is a $1 million question about finances. You know, you do, I understand you do voluntary work. Copenhagen City Council and Ministry of Integration have a lot of money. Did you ask them, hey, look, we are doing your job, please support us?
I was pleased when you said it's a $1 million question because I was hoping that if I get it right, then you will provide me with $1 million, which we need right now. Secondly, we have got a lot of positive response. We have sent in some applications to get some financial support for this. And whether we get it or we don't get it, we will know in the next couple of months. But as it is right now, we haven't got that political influence that we want. Okay,
but I hope that we can also help you to get some addresses from outside Denmark. They're a big organization who work with this hate speech and hate crime. Are you satisfied with what you have achieved in this short period?
I think you know better than me that when you work with human rights or you work with something that are going against the usual discourse, you can never be satisfied because you always feel that there's a lot of things to be done.
True.
So what I'm satisfied about, that we in short period of time have established us, we have gotten some attention, we have made some analysis, so we, on base of our evidence, collected evidence, we can give some academic solutions or academic analysis about what is going on. And from there, we still need to be established, and that we can only do when we get some more funds.
Okay. I will give you 1 minute to look in the camera directly and appeal to those people who can help. And tell them about your NMIL here.
Well, I will say that much. This project is very essential for the community. It is that because spoken words are as harsh as physical torture. So when we want someone to be included in our community, we have to give them the feeling of that we take their problems seriously. Okay? So one of the great values that we have is we take care of our minorities. So here we have to show our minorities that even when they get set up for different kind of hate, we as a community will embrace that.
Ejaz, thank you very much for coming. It was nice listening to you, and I hope that our viewers have learned a lot from what Ejaz have said. And if you see anybody saying something nasty, report them to nmailhail.dk. Thank you very much. Until next time.